What's up, folks? How we doing tonight? Welcome. Hope everybody had a great weekend on this lovely Saturday. What was it, August 26th? A little late. Had to do a little shopping before got online. And if you're married, you know a little bit of shopping takes a little bit of time. But I'm here. We're going to do this. So a lot of what I really want to talk about is eventually I want to get to a very notorious unit in World War II with the Japanese Imperial Army called Unit 731. They committed a lot of really bad war crimes like human experimentation, biological and bacteriological warfare testing, all that stuff. But I don't think that you can properly understand the motivations of Japan during World War II without actually going back in time and listening to a bit of what their history was. Before the 1800s, Japan was a very insular country. They were very isolated. Very few people had visited them, and they preferred it that way. So they were a very closed off society. They were run basically by shogunates, basically warlords, and they were. I'm trying to think of the right way. The emperor was basically a figurehead leading up to the 1870s. The shogunate, they basically ruled kind of like little dictators within their territories. But that started to change a lot when European countries started to enter Japan. Now, it didn't change as much in the very early parts because the shogun were really, really restrictive what the Europeans can do. They kept them in a single harbor within Japan to trade, and they limited what they could trade. Now I think, where are we at? I kind of went old school. Made a little PowerPoint to show you guys, give you guys some visuals. So we're gonna do that. Let me bring this up here. I like some visuals. I don't know. I thought maybe you guys would like them too. So we can go here. Right here, guys. So basically, our story leading up to World War I, World War II, and the Imperial Japanese Army is going to start in about 1868. Now, in 1853, the U.S. sent ships to Tokyo Harbor. Now, the Japanese had been really restrictive under the shogunate of Western trade, Western everything. Right? They were really, really restrictive on who could trade with the Japanese people. Now, as the U.S. started to become larger, started to expand westward, they opened themselves up to building more stuff for goods for trade. And their figuring was that, the Asian market was a good place for them to expand to. And one of those areas that they wanted to expand to was kind of the exotic area of Japan that was very very reclusive, very secluded, and very, very hard to get into. Now, Commodore William Perry, I believe was his name, in 1853, sailed into Tokyo Harbor with 4 United States naval vessels in a show of force to attempt to open up trade with There we go. Hold on. Sorry, guys. There we go. In his attempt to open up trade with Japan. Now, this didn't really lead to anything very good at the time. The way the shoguns ruled is they basically they were an iron fist, and towards the end of their rule, there was a lot of inflation. Money was they were having very difficult time attaining money to keep themselves afloat. And a big part of what they did was they decided that they were going to raise taxes on their subjects, the low lords that ruled under them, the peasants, everything. Now these people were already poor; they already had to pay a lot of money in taxes anyway, and all this did was really further the civil unrest of the time. Now, prior to the shoguns falling, the shoguns had ruled the islands of Japan for, I think, about 400 years. For the shogunate, the imperial, like I said, the emperor at this time was basically a figurehead. Nobody really listened to him in the process of making rules and making laws. But that started to change around the 1870s, about 1868. A few of the clans on the western side of the Japanese islands determined that they wanted to reassert the power of the emperor. Okay, and this led to what was called the Boshin War. It was about a year, but it was a civil war between what started out as the imperial court versus the shogunate. Okay, now there were battles all up and down the islands, but eventually it came down to the Imperials defeated Tokugawa Yoshinobu. He was convinced to surrender. He didn't want to surrender. He wanted to kill himself, but one of his trusted advisors told him that it's easier to die, much harder to live in death. So what he did was he was like, all right, I'll surrender. He decided to surrender, and okay. And that pushed them towards Japan declaring themselves an empire. And the final hurdle of winning the war was the Republic of Ezo, which tried to establish itself on one of the southern islands. But the Emperor Meiji, I think that's how you say it, Meiji, he wasn't having any of that. Sent in his ships and his troops, surrounded the castle, and basically forced their surrender. Okay? On June 27th, 1869, forced their surrender. So now, June 27th, 1869 comes by, and we all of a sudden have the Emperor of Japan is now back in power, ready to go, ready to rule. And then you have a period called the Meiji Restoration under Emperor Meiji. Now, the entire purpose of the restoration was to catch up to the Western world. Now, the Emperor Meiji recognized that Japan as a nation was very far behind the West in technology, in everything that they needed to be a viable nation in the world. So what they did was they decided to send what's called the Irakura mission in 1871. It had about 120 students, scientists, scholars, led by a man with the last name Iwakura, which is why it's named the Iwakura mission. And their whole entire goal was to visit, I believe, over 100 settlements, countries, states, and world leaders all over the world. Now, the reasoning why they wanted to do this was they wanted to go out into the world and they wanted to gain the knowledge of the West. They wanted to figure out how do we advance as a nation and get and become respected in the world? That's what they were looking for. They wanted the respect of the world. And now you have to remember that at this time, the United Kingdom, the British Empire at that time, worldwide, had gone through its own industrial revolution about 40 years before all this happened. And that was actually one of the biggest things that the Iwakura mission realized that they wanted to emulate themselves off of, was the British Empire, due to the fact that their opinion was this is an empire that's at the pinnacle of the world. Everybody respects it. It's gone through the Industrial Revolution that we need to go through ourselves. And so we can take the lessons that they learned and actually jumpstart that so that we don't hit the roadblocks that the British did. The second nation that they wanted to kind of emulate a little bit, they wanted to start as the British Empire and move towards the German system. Now, the German system appealed to them because they met with Otto von Bismarck, and what he told them was diplomacy through strength. Okay, now that really appealed to the samurai culture, the warrior culture of the Japanese. Now, just because these people are scientists didn't mean that they had abandoned their culture. Okay, and so the fact that you have a country in Europe telling them that it's not a bad thing to have strength, even in your negotiations, really appealed to them, and they wanted to emulate part of their culture on that as well. They brought all of this knowledge back to Japan, and their goal was to assimilate it into their culture. Okay, but they also didn't want to lose a large bit of their culture. They saw that there were countries that had gone through an industrial revolution and had lost culture. They didn't have a pillar to keep them upright. And that's actually one of the big things that they saw in Christianity in America. They didn't believe in Christianity, but they saw how at that time of the nation, at that time in the world, Christianity to them was viewed as a driving force to keep the United States on a path. Now, they thought that the United States was too young, coming out of the Civil War, wasn't fully cohesive as a nation, but they saw that a lot of the pillars that kept them moving forward were rooted in a belief. Not necessarily Christianity, but just a belief, okay? And they wanted to build that into their society as well. Not Christianity, but they wanted to build a belief system into their society. Now, to expand, to get bigger, to catch up to the industrial West, they needed to build. Now, a lot of the things that they decided they wanted to build, trains, ships, telegraph lines, okay? They needed to build, and build again. What they decided to do, one of the biggest things that was the hurdle in their opinion, was the feudal system that had ruled Japan for centuries. Now, the feudal system, they had checkpoints around the nation. They had barriers to industry, to capitalization. The feudal system kept people in such a rigid society that you lost a lot of the ingenuity that made people do better and figure new stuff out. They got rid of that. They took that away. Their goal was to open up the ingenuity of the Japanese people and to let people build something into their society, even though they still wanted to control it at the state level. They wanted people to be able to have the ability to build something. Okay? In 1869 until about 1877, the Japanese started to create telegraph lines. Okay? Now, they knew that to be able to catch up to the West, they needed to be able to communicate with each other. They needed to be able to talk to each other. And they also needed to talk to the world. So what they did was they built telegraph lines to every city within the Japanese Empire on the islands. They covered the entire island in a communication bubble that they could talk to each other. And then they joined the Universal Postal Service. Basically, they connected to the entire world through the first telephones in Japan, through the Universal Postal Service, so that they could stay connected to the outside world. They built their underwater telegraph lines to go to other parts of their nation, and they were able to communicate with scientists and engineers and everybody they needed, military people, everything they needed to advance in the world. The telegraph system and the telephones that they brought in allowed them to do that. Around 1900, they started to really invest in a rail system. They built a rail system that reached the entire country. Okay? That means bridges, connecting islands. Just the ability to move goods from one location to another really, really upgraded them and started to connect them to the West. Okay? But when all this is going on, they also needed to update their roads. Their roads used to be just dirt tracks for the most part, but they made major upgrades to their road systems, which allowed them to transport goods more efficiently and transport heavier amounts of goods that they wanted to transport. A country is dictated basically on their infrastructure: roads, ships, rail systems. The Japanese understood this because of everything that they had gained in their travels around the world. They understood that they needed an infrastructure system that would give them the ability to maintain an expansion and an advancement into the Western civilizations. Okay? But all of this also required skilled foreign workers that they didn't have the skills themselves to advance all of this stuff. So they had to bring in foreign workers that would be able to teach them. One of their biggest things one of the first things that they did on a major level was they built a weaving factory. Okay, a massive weaving factory that had over 100 looms on it, whatever, right? And that allowed them to mass produce clothes. And how they did that was they brought in European specialists, which were mostly women, who understood the process of what they were trying to do. And the way that works, as in any industry, is the experts take charge at the beginning and they teach their subjects, the people underneath them, how to move forward. And then you pass that knowledge down from generation to generation. So eventually you don't need the experts from out of your country. You have your own experts. So that's what they did. Okay. But you also got to remember that through industrialization, it becomes necessary to find the resources to help with your expansion. Now, up to a certain point, a nation can just, if the nation needs to, up to a certain point, they can import the goods. But it becomes too expensive to constantly do that. So they need to explore their own country and their own area and find out, do we have the resources that we can use to do this? And for a nation like Japan, they did not really have the necessary resources to maintain and properly fully expand the way they needed to. A lot of that stuff took oil and steel and a lot of stuff that they didn't have. And so their biggest thing was, we need more resources. We need to find out where those resources are. And where better to find those resources than the areas around them? Because you got to remember, even though Japan was trying to move past the shogun, the warlord time of their existence, they were a proud people. They were a warrior culture. And so in their minds, what others had, if they needed to, they could take. And that continued to lead to more and more thoughts of expanding further into the world. right? So, you have this. Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. Well, she. Sorry about that. I'm back. So, basically, you have a country that's coming out of isolation. It sees the need to advance itself to be among the peers of the Western world. But to a certain degree, it lacks the resources to do it. That's what leads to, Japanese aggression in the world. One of the biggest things. What are you? One of the biggest things was in Japanese. It was if we can't have it, we're gonna build it, right? So they're like, we need to expand our sphere of influence around the world. We need to gain respect in the world, but we also need the supplies to do this. This led to many conflicts and wars. The first of which was the first Sino-Japanese War. This was a war fought between the Japanese and the Chinese in 1894 and 1895. Basically, this was fought over the area of the Korean Peninsula. This was the first big test on the international stage for the Japanese, right? This was, this was for Japan. This was, can we win on the international stage? Can we stand up against other countries? And I believe it was the Quang Dynasty. I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the Japanese handily beat them in about a year of fighting, right? So what this served to do was, at that time, even though the Chinese were in the process of really kind of losing a lot of influence because the Western nations were kind of trying to carve them up, so to speak, they still had a decent amount of respect for their tradition, for the people that had traded with them, the Silk Road, all that stuff, right? This was a war between the Japanese and the Chinese. And what this did was, when the Chinese lost this war, basically, Korea became what was called a tributary state. Basically, what a tributary state is, it's a country that exists basically in name only, because its existence is dictated by whether it can provide the arranged for tributes to the host nation, to the nation that made it the tributary state. And it's kind of like, if you don't send the tributes my way, then you're going to be taken over. And it also lost China, the island of Taiwan, some other small islands around that area. But more importantly, more than anything else, it truly damaged the prestige and the influence of China in the area. It allowed Japan to begin to slowly expand its influence around the world, around that area. It allowed Japan to begin to encroach on others' influence in the Pacific, and that was a lot of what Japan really, really wanted over everything besides the resources. It wanted to influence the area. It felt that it had a divine right to be as influential in the area as it could be, right? So between 1895 and 1904, you have maybe a couple of small skirmishes, a couple of small things happening in the world, and in the Asian area, not much though. Not until 1904. 1904 was the Russo-Japanese War. Now the Russians around this time, they were really wanting to expand eastward, but they needed a port that they needed a port in the Pacific that wasn't blocked by ice year around. And that port was Vladivostok. Okay? That was a port on the east side, and it was the only port available for their need for the Japan or for the Russian needs at that time that wasn't continuously blocked by ice. Okay? And so what the Russians started to do was they started to build a rail system from the European side through Siberia and to Vladivostok. Now, this led to tensions between the Russians and the Japanese. It led to battles. It led to just, it led to what was leading to what was inevitably going to be a war. And in 1904, there you go. You have the Russo-Japanese War. Now, a lot of this was fought on the frontiers away from the Japanese islands. So, a lot of what the Japanese people read, they read via government censorship. So they weren't really understanding of what was going on. This was actually the first war with Japan that kind of started to stretch their supplies, their borders, their logistics. It was really something that really put a strain on the wealth of their nation. Basically, Japan and Russia both really wanted Manchuria and the Korean Empire, both. And with Russia building a railway system, that railway system had to go through Manchuria. Okay, that was it. There was no other choice but to do that. Okay. Emperor Nicholas II was basically stuck in Russia, in Europe, so he wasn't really able to understand what was happening in the East. The Japanese just defeated the Russians time and again. The Japanese Navy destroyed the Russian Navy in the Pacific at Port Arthur, and that was in February of 1904. That was a defeat for the Russians. Okay. And then they just started to fight on land and just kept losing and losing and losing. Emperor Nicholas held out hope for like forever, pretty much, There was just nothing that the Russians could do to defeat the Japanese in this war. Not really. The only thing that really led to the Japanese accepting mediation by Theodore Roosevelt in the United States was the fact that they were really stretched thin on the frontier. It was costing way too much for them to be out there. And for the Japanese imperial court, they knew that they were at the limit. They were there. That was as far as they could go. So, in about, what is it? I'm trying to think here. In May 28th of 1905, what was it? The Battle of Tsushima? Yeah, the Battle of Tsushima was a naval battle between Japan and Russia. The Russians lost. The Russians had more strength, battleships, but everything else, not so much. Oh, hold on. The Russians had 8 battleships compared to the Japanese 5 battleships, but they lost 6 battleships, and the Japanese lost none. Um, they lost, I think, out of about 40 ships, they lost about 30, and all the Japanese lost were just 3 torpedo boats. 135,000 tons versus 250 tons was the battle.
Hindi, meron akong timbangan.
Say hi.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, love it. That was my wife, guys. But the Battle of Tsushima was a decisive victory for the Japanese. And it was literally basically the last nail in the coffin of the Russians in the theater. Theodore Roosevelt approached both nations in mid 1905, and said, I will mediate an end to this war. And the Japanese were like, okay, might as well do it. Okay. This led to many negotiations over about 3 or 4 months and culminated in what's called the Treaty of Portsmouth. Let me think here. The Treaty of Portsmouth. Trying to think. Basically ended the Russian thoughts of truly expanding into that area, and really kept them away from the Manchurian area. And so, you have Russia being embarrassed. Okay, Russia getting embarrassed. That's the term you need to use here, is embarrassed. Okay, Russia at that time was considered one of the big superpowers, and to be embarrassed by some fledgling island Asian nation at that time was unthinkable to them. Russia had to end up ceding the Sakhalin Islands, which they eventually got back at the end of World War II, the southern half of the Sakhalin Islands, as well as southern Manchuria. Now, this was a good thing for the Japanese Imperial Army, but it also led to a little bit of unrest in Japan itself. The Japanese people at that time didn't really understand why they were being told that they were winning a war. Why would they sue for peace? Like I said, only the Japanese Imperial Court really understood, and the military command really understood that they were really stretched to their limits of expansion. And so for the Japanese at that time, they couldn't really go any farther, but they've achieved their mission of expansion. And the next part leads us to the Japan-Korean Treaty of 1910. Now, China, throughout this time, had still tried to exert influence as a buffer between Japanese expansion and China, because they rightly felt that Japan wanted part of China, because hey, they'd been fighting in that area for a long time. Now, what the Japan-Korea Treaty of 1910 did was basically it dissolved the current Korean government and basically made it a puppet state of Japan. Japanese were able to move in. They moved in. They're like, hey, now you guys are ours. There we go. And it just made them, it's just like, hey, now you're ours. The Japanese had really wanted Korea for a long time because they themselves considered Korea as kind of a gateway to China, a gateway for them to enter into China. And it really was. It allowed them to get to that extra area to gain access to moving into China. And you see right here, you have the Korean Peninsula right here. This area right here was Manchuria, Manchukuo, everything right here. Okay. Taking this gave Japan more access to this area. Okay. So then from 1910 until about 1917, you had some minor skirmishes. You had some excursions by Japanese Imperial Army into the Chinese area to try to continue to consolidate their influence in the area, to take some properties, to take some islands, to expand a little bit. But it wasn't as aggressive as some of the other wars. You had, I believe you had a rebellion in Manchukuo that the Japanese put down and brought that under their sphere of influence. But then you have the advent of World War One. In World War One, the Japanese actually fought on the side of the Allies, but they weren't really involved in an altruistic way. They were involved because they wanted land for themselves. At that time, there was still a lot of European holdings in the Pacific area, and Germany had quite a bit. And Japan used the distraction of World War One in Europe to take swaths of islands from the Germans. Okay, that was what they wanted to do. They wanted to expand. They wanted to expand, go everywhere, and they used the Germans and the Allies. Well, they used the Allies more than the Germans, but they used the Allies as a tool to do that. Right here, you got all this stuff right here. All these islands right here were ruled. These were German right here. These were German areas right here. So the Japanese used this time to take some islands. I think in particular, German New Guinea. That was what they wanted to do, and they were able to. So it expanded them. It gave them even more influence coming out of it. But just like everything else, just like post World War One, just like everything else, the Depression hit them as well. In Japan, it's called the Showa Recession of 1926. What the Japanese did at that time was they created a They created an economic bubble, right? They really wanted to expand their business. So just kind of like the housing bubble, you build all these houses and eventually it collapses because not everybody can buy the houses, right? Same thing with this. They built a lot of businesses. They invested in expanding into business, but it just became too much and it collapsed. Now, what this did was it led to some bank downfalls in Japan, and actually led to a centralization of the banking system, which kind of allowed them to withstand a little bit more of the depression than other countries. There was the government at the beginning in 1926 actually fell and was replaced by a second government that I think, if I remember correctly, what did they do? I think they put bonds on the market that helped to control the inflation in the Japanese islands, which kind of lessened the blow of it. But, just like every other country in the world, they were on the road to World War II. And it's argued a lot whether World War II started in 1932 or did it start in 1939. You can make an argument for either side. I I could probably lean towards 1931, 1932 as the real beginning of the Second World War. This was when Japan invaded invasion of Manchuria. They had built what was called the Kwangtung Army, which was the army that was in Korea. Okay. By this time, even though Japan had part of Manchuria, they didn't have all of Manchuria. Okay. But they owned the southern rail yards. Okay. And what they did was they created a false flag operation on on their section of the rail yard that they owned. They destroyed like 50 feet of the rail yards, but they blamed it on Manchurian rebels as their cause de guerre to move in, and they used this in 1931 to actually invade Manchuria and start what was called the second was the prelude to the Second Sino-Japanese War. The Japanese invasion of Manchuria took about 8 months, not very long really. Very easily they defeated China, took all of Manchuria from China finally, and made Manchukuo, that was north of Manchuria, as their puppet state. So they were really consolidating. They were really putting basically getting all of their area together. They were integrating that area into their economy. They were figuring out where all the natural resources was. One of the big things that they got from China in this invasion of Manchuria were a bunch of mines, natural resources. And it was a lot of what they needed. Metal, iron ore, coal, and they were able to get a little bit of oil. But this is about the time where you're going to start seeing the U.S. and other nations start to wake up to the aggressiveness and the expansionism of the Japanese Empire. The Japanese relied heavily on the U.S. for oil. Their entire industry was reliant on oil. And when the U.S. started to cut back on supplies of oil and then eventually ban the export of oil, it really started to hurt the Japanese industry and really soured them on the West at all. One of the biggest things was their culture just did not think that anybody was equal to them. They thought, if you they thought the Chinese were inferior. They thought everybody that didn't follow their caste system and their way of life was just inferior. And that really showed in the fact that they were so aggressive militarily. And then you come to about 1937, which is the beginning of the Second Sino-Japanese War. That is when Japan makes the decision that they need to really, really take out China. They just make the decision that they have to stop Chiang Kai-shek and his ability to wage war. At that time, Chiang Kai-shek was the ruler of China. He was kind of a quasi-democratic ruler. The communists in China were a very, very small group in that time. Japan had I think in 4 separate times intervened in China before this to try to disrupt Chiang Kai-shek from doing what he needed to do to solidify his rule over the country. But this is when Japan made the determination that they needed war. Okay, so I know it's kind of put together really fast here, but I'm not like a super expert on this, but I just wanted to give you guys just a basic ground ground floor entry into Japanese culture because when I go online tomorrow is when I'm going to be talking about Unit 731. That's what I really, really want to talk about. Unit 731 was a just an evil unit that was created during the Second Sino-Japanese War. Human experiments, just everything evil that could be done. And so that's basically what I wanted to do here, guys, was I wanted to just talk to you about that stuff. And give you just a basic, quick overview, kind of hectic, of the motivations behind why Japan went the way they went, where they went, why they went there. Basically, that's it. I think I don't really want to get off, so let me see. I am really enjoying just chatting. Even if people aren't here, I think it's very important that I get back into streaming, get back into doing this stuff. And this is one of the reasons, it's just something I like to do. It's something I really I started to do it and got really, really good at it, in my opinion. I got pretty decent at being able to just talk, but like real life just really took over for a while and didn't allow me to keep playing as much as I wanted to. And coming back, it was just like do I really want just to play video games? I didn't. Yeah, so I'm trying to find this thing. There it is. Okay. But I do think that I'm going to I think I'm gonna pop up State of Decay 2 today. Let's do that. Let's play some games, All right. Well, you know what I can offer you? Varied app. It's I damn. I can offer you a ban. Yeah, that's what we can offer you. A ban. Get out of here. Get your crap out of here. This was much easier when I had two screens. When I moved, didn't have two screens anymore. Really? Seriously? Seriously? Oh. Alright. That's just becoming annoying. Alright, so let's go here. Ah, you can see it. Perfect. Alright. It's been a while since I played this game, guys. So, bear with me. Let's see what's new. I think I was just moving along, moseying on through. I think I was on Dread difficulty. It's kind of the difficulty that I can still have fun at without going crazy. But I think they've updated a lot of stuff, and I don't know everything they've updated. Ah, here we go.
I'm in a bit of a jam here. Anyone out there available to help?
So they changed up the plague hearts. These grotesque flesh mounds start out dormant and are only awakened by player actions within their controlled territory. Use caution in their territory because once a plague heart awakens, it will continually release hordes to spread infestations until it is destroyed. Plague hearts release infestation hordes to infest locations around the map. If infestation hordes reach an existing infestation, the severity will increase, adding to the zombies present. Alrighty then. Let's see. I do want to update my YouTube real quick. Bear with me, guys, please. Should still be. Alrighty then. Let's edit this. Okay.
Why not? I'll do it. Alright, hold on. I'm on my way.
I do like those ones. They're like, okay, why not?
You're the best.
You know, I keep waiting for State of Decay 3. I really do. I can. State of Decay 3 is what I really, really want. Yeah. Alright. Alright, here we go. Wait. Okay. I've got the silencer on this. Okay. There we go. Who needs to do that when you can just jump over your own stuff? Who needs a door when you can just jump over everything? That's what I say. Let's look at the map. Oh my. Whoa. Wow. You see that, guys? 2 ferals, 2 bloaters, 1 juggernaut, along with 3 screamers. Okay, we got a hostile environment. So basically it's telling, I guess the update is if you kill... Okay. So this one's dormant. Oh wow, there's a dormant one right by... Really? Okay. I don't know how you're surviving next to a dormant one there. Alright, so let's get some gas. Okay. It's kind of been a little bit since I've been in this game. What do I have? Okay. Oh yeah. That's a good one right there. What's that shoot? 9 mil? I got a lot of 9 mil. Glided kukuri. Wait, did they do away with did they do away with the oh, there, no, he's right here. Okay. I was gonna say they didn't do away with the bounty broker, did they? Chase Beaumont? Cash Beaumont? You can't leave. You must stay with us forever. Alright.
I got this one.
Oh yeah, I still have that from a long time ago. Let's take the truck. That's a feral and I don't want anything to do with it.
Anyone over there who can help us? We have a problem.
Right here.
I'm gonna assume that he's injured in some way, obviously. He's gonna want me to help him.
And nope.
That's how it always is. Like medicine or he's got the plague.
Oh, shiny.
That's usually how it works.
I think I've searched everywhere I
Oh,
can.
nice. That was a good thing. All right, bro. What do we got? Sure. Why not?
Get on.
I don't even know if he got into my truck or not. I hope he did.
I guess this dump looks like the right place.
We got a zombie nearby.
Ow!
That's one ugly ass juggernaut.
Where?
Nothing here we can't handle.
Nothing more to kill here.
I heard Juggernaut, and I don't want to fight a Juggernaut because I am not prepared to fight a Juggernaut. That's all I can say. It's gonna be the last one, guys. I swear, it's always the last one. Always the last one you look at. I don't know if that's a gaming algorithm or if that's just my luck.
Found it.
Oh,
Hey,
thank
I
you.
found it.
Please, accept this gift. You've earned it.
Bundle of
That's
pipes. Okay. It's a bundle of pipes, chat, and I don't know why I need it, because I don't. Let's go back to base. Boom. I do really like the fact that you can actually just directly put them into your base. Where are we at? Base. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, look at this. Dude, I'm gonna lose so much freaking materials. Wow. Can I upgrade anything? I don't think I can I? Damn it. Oh. No, I can't. Ah. That's unfortunate.
That's not gonna happen.
Oh, I need beds too. Jeez. Cheese and rice. Where's the map? No. No.
I see a plague bloater.
There's always one big base, and I think I kind of need it because I get penalized without having all those beds. This is the one right here. This is the one I need right here. The Whitney Field. You know what? This is going to be an interesting one because this is my first time playing since this this whole play cards go dormant thing. So I don't actually know if I can blow up a play card that's dormant. This will be interesting. So let's find out because I kind of really want Whitney Field because that will really loosen up the pressure that I have. And it's all the way on the other side. I'm not even going to complete this map, guys. Mainly what I do is I just rotate between maps. Oh, hello, bloater. No thanks. Yeah, mainly what I do is I rotate between maps. I get like... Your main objective in this game is to destroy play cards. And there's 18 play cards on every map on Dread difficulty, which I'm on. And so usually I get to about 15 or 16 play cards completed and then I move to a new map. And I rotate through maps constantly. When you rotate to a new map, it resets all the supplies, all the buildings and everything. And the best part about it is you get to keep your cars. That's my favorite part about rotating to a new map. You get to keep your cards. Ooh, good fishtail. Good fishtail.
Bye-bye.
Ah, come on. So you can say, "Hey, I want to rescue myself." That's basically your car will the system will the system will move your car to a location that it's not stuck. But getting pulled out of my car removed that ability for me there, unfortunately. So we'll have to try it again. There we go. And then I'll have to fix my car.
I do not want to know what makes plague territory smell this bad.
Ah, crap.
What a wonderful smell we've discovered. Fire in the hole! That sure left a mark. It's hurting! Don't let up now! Okay, scratch one plague guard. Finally, we can start claiming some nearby spots.
That is one, that's one update that I'll never forget about. Shoot. What? Wrong play card. Dang it. Alright, I gotta find out where this play card is.
Looks like nobody else is home. With a play card around, that won't last.
Oh, there it is, right there.
We can't expect our supplies to stay in good shape if we just leave them lying around.
Yep.
Holy shit. You think that baby still runs?
An ambulance? Ooh, those are good ones. Ambulances are good vehicles.
Fucking hate plague hearts. Okay, nothing more to see here.
Oh my goodness, there's two? Oi, 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 oi. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go here to this military checkpoint and make it a, oh, no. Dude, that always annoys me about this game. I've got to make a checkpoint, because I don't have near enough supplies. Yee! I don't like you. Bitch. So I gotta make this, I gotta turn this into a little supply area. An outpost. No. Gotta make it a an outpost so that I can probably switch my character because she's getting... Oh, shit.
Let's make this mag count.
Hello?
heroes.
Hello. I didn't realize you were here. How are you doing?
Hey, you. Good to see ya.
So what do we got today?
Okay.
Not much. We'll take the ammo. That's fine. It's all right. We'll take the ammo there. We got enough influence.
This will slow me down.
All right. So what we do here is we're gonna go to this medical outpost right here that we marked here, and we're gonna make it one of our outposts. This will give me the fact that I won't have to drive everywhere to get around.
We idiots not to turn this into an outpost. Alright, folks. The outpost is up and running. I have some thoughts on how to improve this place even more.
It's coming back to me, guys. It's coming back. It's all coming back to me now. Dude.
I gotta rest a sec.
God, they keep coming. It's like, stop it. I just want to deal with the outpost here, okay?
Not happening.
Oh, okay. How much influence do I have? Oh, that's kind of cool. Let's see what this allows us to do. Infestation bait. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing.
Um. Yeah, we're gonna switch. All right. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay. Um. All right. We'll just do that. And she got a little sword. Okay. What we're gonna do here? That's the 9 mils. Oh, that takes 9 mil as well. So we're going to get the repair, get that, and get that. And we're going to take out another play cart. That's what we're going to do, chat. It is play cart time. I must repair this car. I must increase the bust. Oh no. Number one rule of this game, chat, if you have a car, always have gas. Ooh, okay. Alright, so this is kind of cool. I guess since I was gone for so long, it just reset everything here, so I get to search this place again.
Well, it's not much.
Yeah, but it's better than a swift kick in the ass. Alright.
God, I am so sick of plague zombies. Time to reload.
You didn't think I see you there? I got eyes in the back of my head. It's called a video game.
God damn it. Look out, a barrel! I can't keep this up. Time to reload. Loader cloud.
Our base is under attack. That's all over the place. Hell, like right now.
Alright. Now that we got rid of that crap, sometimes you just gotta run, chat.
How'd I get this job again? It's locked. Figures. a mark? It's hurting! Don't let up now! Okay, rest easy. The infestations aren't a problem. For now. It's not dead yet.
Okay, that's one of those times where it's like the game just really kind of screwed me over, and I'm not taking it.
Our base is under attack. Zeds all over the place. We need help, like right now.
Locked up tight.
All right, let's do this again. Let's start this over, chat. All right, we're gonna repair.
This will slow me down.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Sheriff, we need help on track.
Okay, no Zeds around, but we can't secure the place with Plague Heart close by. This will slow me down.
So we slowly exit the building, one step at a time. We come over here, and we ride. Just like that, chat. Boom, and just like that, Bob's your uncle. Boom. There we go. Well, I didn't want that.
Guys, we could really use your help with this shit right now.
Jesus. No, I can't take control of you. The shit pinatas, that's what they're called, guys. Well, I got time to do this. This is my main goal, is to clear these out so I can get a new base. Oh, no thank you, bloaters. Worst thing to do is to be driving around and then you run into bloaters. This is a little trick that someone shot. Oh, crap.
Better be careful. Imagine the plague would really cramp.
Get off of me. Hello.
It's hurting! Don't let up now! Okay, scratch one plague heart. That's how we take
Ah, crap. Ugh. Nothing more annoying. That, you know, while I appreciate, like,
empty. Let's go.
I appreciate why they did it, you know, to add a little bit more to the game, I don't appreciate that they did do it.
That's a lot of stuff.
Alright, we're going to take this base because this is the big base that we need. Hope she enjoyed her last view of the sky.
It's a bit of a fixer-upper, but this place could make a nice home.
You almost screwed this up for me. Alright. There we go. So now we're just gonna... Now, we just fix the baby up.
Stay away from the zombies, okay? I'm worried about you.
It's got a lot of protection here. Alright. So we're going to build a bed.
one ugly-ass juggernaut.
So when you come into
Payload delivered.
when you come into a base, you get a bit of time that allows you to protect all of your gear, all your rucksacks, all your supplies, so that it doesn't actually go bad. So that's what you really want to focus on. Oh. Interesting. All right. Get back to it. Okay, so I can do this one.
All right, hold on. I'm on my way.
Thanks, and please hurry.
All right. We're gonna use this. All right, so.
Oh look, a freak. How nice.
Actually, do I want this gun? What guns do I have? Alright, I'll use this.
We'll have to get rid of some of our resources unless we get more storage.
I'll be back before you miss me.
Too late. Already miss ya. Alright. Let's see what we got here.
Take out the nearest plague heart, this might just clear up.
Missed.
Check that box on the to-do list.
As long as I don't run into a bloater, I should be fine. That's the one thing I might run into is a bloater here, and that'll just be annoying. Or I run into a little divot in the ground that I can't get out of. That becomes annoying too. So this was probably a bad idea to go this way. I didn't realize it was that hilly, I guess. I need a Mrs. Doubtfire. Help is on the way, dear. Oh,
We were well prepared.
hello.
And we made it. We've got this. Don't give up.
Alright, where's the third one?
Better be careful. Catching the plague would really cramp my style.
Well. I think these are the cannibals. I think so.
I hope I can return the favor someday.
Not to brag, but we're pretty good at dealing with Zeds. If you like, we'd be happy to clear some out of this area for you.
I honestly don't know.
Hang in there.
Come on in, if you want.
I'm thinking those are the... Alright, let's do a infirmary. Okay, there's that.
Shit. Hey,
Oh.
get your ass back here.
Oh no, darn. Um, 14. I might need to start thinking about moving to a new place. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, that's like right on the edge right there. What do we got? Maybe I should start fresh on a new map. Maybe that's what I should do.
Hey, I have a proposal for you. Let's meet.
Willow Grove. Oh yeah. All right. Can't remember. I think mechanic is what I need. I need to find people skilled. Ooh, okay.
Well, not much.
Not much matters.
No, I was hoping we'd have more company.
Oh, there it is. Right under my nose. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. Bite, bite, bite. Maybe I'll play this tomorrow and do my second half
Slowing
of
me down.
Unit 731 next Saturday. I think maybe I should use more time to research.
Dala ng baboy? Hindi, ayoko ng baboy.
What's up?
Anyone out there? I need some help.
He sounds like he's a trusting. He sounds like someone I can trust, right?
Why not? I'll do it.
Right, guys? I mean, he truly sounds like I can trust him. He's got a good trusting voice.
Hey, kid.
Oh my gosh. Not cool, man. Not cool. Leading to some burns. Not cool, bro.
All right, sounds good. After you.
Alright, not bad. These missions aren't bad.
That's a lot of stuff.
I mean, it's not that much. Thanks for getting in the way, jackass.
Incoming forward. Move. Zombie incoming.
People are asking me about these rumors of government evacuation. Our agents can't confirm these reports, but I say it doesn't matter. Whether or not the government still exists, Red Talon is here for you.
I know it's the apocalypse, but Red Talon seems unnecessarily dickish.
Let's make this night count, kiddos.
See, that was unfortunate. Come on. There we go. Oh my gosh, chat. Look at all the ammo I lost because this guy walked in front of my bullets to kill that. If I get that one shot, he's gone.
Finally.
Keep your eyes.
Perfect. Ah, that was great. That was great. I was just like, fire in the hole, throw 2 grenades and run away. When all else fails, chat, the mass expenditure of ammunition carry the day.
yes. Thanks, kid. You came through, kid. Here's a little something for your effort.
Place looks empty. Let's go.
Oh, hello. We'll take the canned goods.
There goes my last shot.
Ooh, last bullet.
We just dropped off a small gift at your place. We wanted to let you know how thankful we are for the sheriff's help.
+5 ammo is not bad. I'll take it.
Better be careful. Catching the plague would really cramp my style.
We'll go this way. Do. Now you're supposed to use the back of the vehicle because that's where the engine's not. But I'm just not really needing it right now.
Take out the nearest plague heart, this might just clear up.
Melee only, that's easy. I can do that. I've got the Gladius, so I'm okay with melee only. How you doing, Amara? Oh, duh. Let's see. Update. I don't know, gardening. Dang it. This is what I like. This is the thing is like, I have all these guys, right? I have munitions, bartending. This guy's useless. If I find somebody that has an empty spot, I'm going to ditch this guy right here. Computers, self-promotion. Can't really get rid of them. Demolition, sports trivia. So Wally is... I'm doing good. I did a little bit of a history to begin the stream. And then decided that I would play some zombies for the last hour or so. Hello, David. Ooh, he's got that one. Okay. I didn't realize I gave him that gun. That's a good one right there.
See, people, this is what I've been talking about. Nice work.
Oh, hello.
That's pretty heavy.
I didn't realize he had that gun with him. Let's see. What was I going to do? Thinking of maybe I'll just go to a different map. I'm thinking I think I'm just gonna start fresh. But I'll go here. I'll go to the trader. It's updating to infirmary level 2 right now. I just moved into the space.
How
I
about
had-
we get off our asses and do something?
I had to clear play carts.
Next to BOE. The numbers look like GPS coordinates.
Oh, hello. Yeah, I just started streaming again last weekend. So I'm starting to... I think I'm going to start trying to focus more on like a podcast type format. But I felt like playing some zombies tonight. Oh, alright. These are the good people I can trade with.
Hello there. Hi. Red Talon set.
Red Talon are the good people I can trade
Got
with.
anything useful you're looking to unload?
Oh yeah! I did not mean to do that. I'm gonna buy that back. I mean, I don't have a problem either. I just like, I was gone from streaming so long. I come back and I don't know.
I've been asking all of you to put yourselves at risk lately. Let's build a field hospital to make sure we're taking care of ourselves.
I guess when I came back, I just... I guess the best thing to say is that just blindly streaming a game just was like, meh, it doesn't hold as much appeal just to blindly do it. These two guns aren't... okay. So I kind of like wanted to trade, like, mix stuff in. It's just tonight I was like, you know what? I just feel like switching over to zombies. I did about an hour of kind of like a rough history of late 19th century, early 20th century Japan and like their expansionism. It was really rough.
Like they say, fortune favors the bold.
But I'm gonna do... I don't know if you know... I don't know how well you know World War II history, but I was gonna do... kind of a... something on Unit 731.
I think we can help each other out. Yeah.
Well,
Looking to do
can I
some
trade with
trading. Sure.